everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another video, and this time we're going to be focusing on the acrylic application. So as always, I'm using my acrylic system by Mia's Secret, and I'm going to be using quite a few different colors. This first one that I'm using on the ring finger is the pink acrylic by Mia's Secret, which is a translucent pink. And for my brush, I'm using a number 10 alpha brush, and I'll be sure to leave the link in the description as well as the promo code. But again, I'm using the pink Mia's Secret acrylic on the ring finger, which is a really translucent pink. And then for the other nails, I'm also going to be using the Mia's Secret Cover Rose. And then I'm also going to be using the clear as well as some glitter, which the glitter is by Cocoa Glitter Bells. And I'll be sure to leave that down in the description as well. But as always, for our acrylic application, I start off with the 4-ball method. Always starting off with the first one right in the middle, where the natural nail and the tip meets, placing the other one right below that one. So I'm going to show you here on the thumb. So place the first one right in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meets, and this one is the Mia's Secret Cover Rose. So we brush it down towards the tip, making sure that we brush down really gently. The second bead we place right below that first one, and then remember, it's really important to look at the nail from different sides to make sure that you have the acrylic in the right place. As you can see, my tip was still a little bit thin, so I placed another bead right below that first one again. And then my next one will be closer to the cuticle area, making sure that I pat it down and pushing it up towards the cuticle once I'm patting down. That way it's not on the skin. And then after that, we clean around the cuticle area. Then the next one would be right at the apex. This is what's going to create our apex actually. So we place it down closer to the cuticle area and really gently brush it down, because we want that area to be thicker than the rest of the nail, because that's where our nail gets its strength from. So make sure that you brush it all the way down, and then we're going to come through and just apply the clear over that to encapsulate the pink, because once we start filing, we don't want to file away too much of that pink. So again, this is my alpha brush and a number 10, and we're just applying the acrylic. We're going to do the the cover rose on the thumb and the middle finger, and then on the pinky and the index finger we're going to be doing some glow-in-the-dark powder, which I mixed up myself, and I do have a video on how to do that, so I'll be sure to leave that down in the description. And then the glitter that I'm going to apply on those will be by Cocoa Glitter Bells. Alrighty, so for this one, this is where I'm doing the glow-in-the-dark powder. So as you can see, it's the off-white acrylic powder, and I just mixed it myself, and it's just a combination of white acrylic, the glow-in-the-dark powder, as well as clear, which gives it that off-white look. But once I have a nice thin layer of that, I'm gonna come by and just apply the glitter over the nail. And as you can see, this is the iridescent glitter. I can't remember what they called it on the website, but again, I'll be sure to leave the link in the description. And then of course, we're gonna come by and just encapsulate this with the clear acrylic by Mia's Secret. I'm gonna go ahead and do the glitter on this one as well, just so the acrylic on the other nail kind of dries a little bit, because we don't want to drag the glitter off the nail whenever we come by and apply the clear acrylic over the glitter. So again, just do a thin layer of the glow in the dark powder, and you don't necessarily have to do the glow in the dark. That was just my preference, but you could of course leave it clear, or you can do any other color underneath. But we're just doing this off-white with the glitter on top, and then coming through and just applying the clear acrylic over it. And remember that when you're encapsulating glitter or just anything, you want to make sure that the glitter is thick enough, or sorry, the acrylic is thick enough over the glitter, that way you don't file any of the glitter off. Alrighty, so now we're going to go ahead and move on to the other hand. So again, placing that first bead right in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meets, brushing it down towards the tip. And I know the last video that I did, I mentioned how I added a little bit of monomer into, or sorry, a little bit of acetone into my monomer to help the acrylic set a little bit faster. So I did the same thing on this set. So you will notice that my acrylic is setting a bit faster. It's not as runny as it usually is. So I'll be sure to leave that link in the description to that video. But literally all you do is just add like a few drops to your monomer of acetone, and it's going to help that acrylic set a bit faster. And this is for the Mia Secret acrylic system, because we all know that it's really runny. But it's pretty much the same technique for all of the nails. I try to do the 4-ball method every time, you know, to keep it consistent so you guys don't get confused. But also keep in mind that when you're doing this, like if your first bead was good enough to where you have a nice thickness at your tip, then you might not have to add the second bead or the third bead, because you know there's people out there that just focus on doing a 1-ball method. But I like to just stick to the 4-ball method because I like to work with a little bit of product at a time. That way I don't have super thick nails. But as you can see, like as I'm working, I'm turning my client's finger over to the sides to make sure that I get a full view of the entire nail, also like from the sides, because that's gonna tell me, you know, if I need to add more acrylic at the tip, maybe on the left side of the tip or on the right side or closer to the apex. So make sure that you lift your client's finger while you're applying the acrylic and keep turning it to get a good view, because again, you don't want to have a nail that's too thin because it's going to break, and then you also don't want a nail to be like super thick, because it obviously is not going to look as natural. So always remember to work smarter and not harder, because you don't want to have to do a lot of filing at the end. And also remember that when you're using the cover colors, I don't know if everybody does this, but I do, and that's just to apply a thin layer of that clear acrylic over the colored acrylic. That way, of course, we don't file off all of the colored acrylic, and that way it also helps with not wasting a lot of the colored acrylics or the cover colors, because they do come in smaller containers and they are a little bit more on the pricier side. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and basically do the same thing that I did on the other hand. So that was the glitter on the pinky and the index finger on this hand, and then on the ring finger it's going to be bling. So I'm just using my regular Mia Secret pink acrylic, and then I'm going to do I think I already said the glitter, which will be the pinky and the index, and then the nude, of course, the cover rose on the thumb and the middle finger. I think I just confused myself. But anyways, it's going to be the same process over and over again. So I will see you guys in a bit. So this is the last nail, and I just want to remind you guys that when you're encapsulating that glitter, that it's thick enough so you don't file anything off. And I'm going to show you in a second how my nails look. As you can see, we have a nice stress area. They're not too thick or too thin. That's how the thickness is, and they literally just look flawless, and this is before any shaping or filing. So yeah, they look pretty nice. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and reshape the nails. So as always, I'm using a 100 nail file, and we're just filing at a 45-degree angle on the sides and the free edge at a 90-degree angle to make sure that the free edge is super straight. And this shape is more of, I think, is it tapered? Not tapered. I think it's tapered shape. I can't remember, but I know it's not a coffin. It's kind of like an in-between coffin and a square. But again, we're just reshaping the nails. You want to make sure that you don't skip this step because you will always have those little rough edges on the sides. So you want to make sure that you have that perfect shape. Once we're done reshaping the nails, we're going to go ahead and start the filing process with the e-file. Alrighty, so now we're going in with the e-file, and I slowed it down to my real time. So as you can see, I go really slow around the cuticle area, making sure that I go from the right side over to the left side to seal that acrylic really good. You don't want to leave any gaps in between the natural nail and the acrylic, because if any water, just any moisture, if it gets trapped underneath the nail, it will cause your nail to lift, and it's also going to cause a greenie. So make sure that you're sealing that acrylic really good until you're able to see where the cuticle is, where the natural nail is, and where the acrylic is. So, and then after that, we just file the rest of the nail to make sure that it's all nice and smooth. And remember that when you are a beginner, it is a little bit harder to get that flawless application. So you are going to have to do a little bit more filing. So make sure that you focus on that, because that's the only way that you're going to be able to get a smooth nail. So if your nails are still really bumpy, just go back and file some more. And then of course, you don't have to have an e-file to do nails. You could always just do it with a hand file, but it is better with the e-file because it saves you a lot of time. And then you're also able to get really close to that cuticle area, because I know whenever I first started doing nails, it was really hard for me to get really close to that cuticle area to prevent lifting with just the hand file. So the only way to get good at using an e-file is literally just by practicing, and you will only get better with time. So again, we're just filing all of the nails, making sure that we focus on that cuticle area first, starting from the right side, going over to the left side, just going back and forth until you're able to see where the cuticle is, where the natural nail is, and where the acrylic is. So once we're done filing the nails, we're going to go in and just buff the nails. And as always, this is just to get rid of any of the scratches left on the nail from the e-file or the hand file. So make sure that you buff them really good. And then as always, I go through and just feel on the nail with my thumb to make sure that it's nice and smooth. And if it's not, I just go back in and buff a little bit more until it's really nice and smooth. If you skip this step, you are going to be able to see those scratches through your polish. So don't be lazy and just make sure that you buff those nails really good. And after this, we're just going to dust the nails off, wipe them off with an alcohol wipe, or of course you could have your client go wash their hands, whatever works for you. So I wiped the nails off with an alcohol wipe. So now I'm going to go in with this Color Club polish in the color Just My Luck, which is a silver holographic polish. And I apply that on the nails whenever I'm going to do a full nail of bling, because it matches the bling. So if anything's to fall off, it's not going to be as noticeable. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that on both of the ring fingers. And then while that dries, I'm going to go ahead and apply a top coat on the rest of the nails, because we did the all acrylic no polish kind of look, because we did apply polish on this nail. But again, I'm just going to go ahead and apply the top coat on the other nails. And as always, I'm going to be using the IBD gel top coat, and then we're going to be curing each hand for 60 seconds. Alrighty, so now for the bling, I'm going to be applying a 3D bow. So I'm applying that with my hard gel. I just placed that hard gel right in the middle, and then I'm just brushing the hard gel out. And I'm going to apply a little bit of bling on that hard gel. That way it's not like a big patch of hard gel, if that makes sense, I guess. And then I'm just going to go ahead and cure that, because this hard gel does have to be cured. It's not going to air dry at all. You have to cure it under the UV lamp. So I cure that for 30 seconds. And again, I'm only applying the bling on the pieces, or not the pieces, but the parts where I brushed out that hard gel, because it will work as a glue as well. You just have to make sure that you cure it for 30 seconds. And then once it's cured, we're going to come back and just apply the rest of the bling on the entire nail with the Mia Secret Gel Resin. So I just apply it on the nail, and then I'm just going to start applying the bling all over the nail. Make sure that you alternate between the different sizes. I'm using my SS6 and my SS12 as always. And I'm just picking them up with my wax pencil, and then of course just applying more glue as needed. And then at the end, you will see me spray the Mia Secret Gel Resin Activator, which is just a spray that helps that Mia Secret Gel Resin dry a bit faster, because it is a resin, which means that it's thicker, like a thicker consistency. So it's going to take a little bit longer to dry. So again, I just spray the Mia Secret Gel Resin Activator, and it's not mandatory that you use it, but honestly, I do feel like it helps the bling stay on a lot longer. And then also something else that I do after I apply the bling is just kind of seal the perimeter of the nail with that same Mia Secret gel resin. I don't apply it like right on top of the bling, but kind of just like on the sides around the nail. And I feel like that helps the bling stay on a lot longer as well. Alrighty, so I'm just finishing up this nail, and then again I just go back through and outline the perimeter of the nail with that same Mia Secret gel resin. Now I'm just applying the cuticle oil and just gently massaging it in. And here is the final look. As you can see, they turned out really pretty. That cover rose is just so pretty, and it goes perfect with that glitter. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram at GetNailed32, and I'll see you guys next time.